Kia ora koutou. It's day 2 of my 2-week trading challenge where I'm focused on one setup, one strategy and max 2 trades a day. Today I stuck to the plan in terms of trade limits but not in execution. I had 2 trades, one that was late and one that wasn't even the right setup. So let's break it down. So the first stock I saw this morning was ELBM. And basically I saw it as it was pushing up here, breaking through VWAP, and I thought there was a good chance of it breaking back to the previous high. So I was looking at an entry to get in as it broke through this level here at 134. I could have got in here as it broke over this green candle in at 130 and just breaking over through VWAP, and that might have been a better entry than what I took. What ended up happening was it ended up hitting a wall here at 134, and then in this candle here it came back up, sort of held for a bit and then broke through. I pushed the buy button as it broke through, and I only had a 1 cent offset on my order placement. So on the ask, plus 1 cent above the ask. So when it placed the order, there was a bit of lag, I guess. I didn't get filled, and it shot up here without me, and then still pulled back, and then I got filled at $1.37 for 101 shares. I held here thinking that it would possibly push again and go higher. It didn't. It pretty much broke down, and then the second candle formed here and it dipped down to the 20 EMA and then brought back up. So I thought there was an opportunity for it to push back higher, but it didn't. It broke down back to the 20 and then further. And instead of getting out here at 130, even 129, 128, I kept holding, and I held all the way through this pullback. It rallied back up to 127, still didn't get out, and then held through this again until missed getting out up here at 129. Could have got out there, and it came back up and it pushed through to 126, and it was sort of hitting a wall at 126 in that candle. So I thought, no, I'm just going to cut it. So I cut the loss there at $1.25, and then it pushed up to 139. But I wouldn't have made any profit on it anyway. I still would have been a break even, or after fees, probably a small loss. So I took the loss, which was $12.23, and it was clear that I got the entry wrong on this. If I got in there at 137, would I have got out at 145? Would I have been quick enough? I don't know. But not getting filled down here and not cancelling my order straight away was a bit of a mistake, really. What it's meant to do is get in here as it breaks, be in for the push higher, and but the stock really didn't do what I was sort of hoping it would do, expecting it to do, was to push higher and come back and retest this 164 level. It didn't do that. It only pushed to 145 and then reversed. So that was a bit disappointing on my first trade, and it was kind of following my strategy. The volume was coming in at that point. It broke through a pivot level, and that was where I should be getting in. Possibly could have got in a bit earlier and been a bit more aggressive for getting in for the break of that, and then getting out if it broke down past 130 would have been probably an option as well. So that was ELBM. Next trade I took was on VERO. Vero. So I watched this pop up to here and pull back, and really, you know, possibly with that big buy in there could have been a buy here around the VWAP level, around 378, and getting out at, you know, 420, 410, somewhere around here. That would have been a decent trade, you know, on these pullbacks. But what happened was I failed to get in here on the first one, and then the second one happened, and I thought, right, well, it's probably not going to happen a third time. But it did. You know, it popped up here again and again and again. But by this stage, I didn't want to buy in. I was scared to buy in, looking for this dip or the dump back down. And eventually it came. You know, it came to it, pulled back down here in this red candle. And instead of being patient, I jumped the gun. So here I thought it was holding the 20 EMA and was sort of buying up, you know, making higher lows, and it started making higher highs. And I thought, okay, well, I'll get in on the next one at the around the 20 EMA. But I got in a bit high. I got in at 352, so around here, this level here, and I should have been patient and waited. And the reason for that is that I'm not meant to be buying dips. I'm not meant to be buying, you know, off this level. This is not my strategy. Where my strategy would have been employed was really here, on this candle here, when volume came in and it broke through this pivot point of previous resistance on this, you know, level here. So breaking over 360, breaking over 355, around that level there, that would have been an entry to get in and for the push back through VWAP and higher. So really, I was early on my entry on this one, not really abiding by the rules of my strategy. And it did work. Like, I got in at 352 and I took the exit early here at 362, even though it was, you know, grinding higher. You know, when it came back down here to 338, I might have gotten out with a loss. But yeah, if I'd been patient and waited for the break back up, that would have been a much better trade than trying to buy the reverse, or where it's reversing and then pushing back up. Yeah, maybe I could have been more patient. It was a pretty strong stock, and you know, I possibly could have gotten out here. And then also, like, it did rally again later on as well. So, you know, pushed up here again, up through here. It's a bit choppy through this area, and then again up here, you know, breaking through this level here, dipping back down, and you know, buying for that next leg up. So yeah, not good execution at all on the strategy today. And you know, I made a 10 cents per share on that trade, but at 33 shares, that's like $3.30 profit. So not great. So I didn't really execute, so I didn't really succeed in my challenge today. The challenge was more about execution of the trade, of the strategy, rather than profit, what you get out of it. So, you know, the metric today, I don't feel that I achieved that very well by trading outside of my strategy on both trades. Probably a bit more unlucky on the first one, not getting it filled, but yeah, just didn't execute the risk management on that first trade. Should have been out earlier. Obviously, it wasn't gonna go once it broke down through VWAP, so I should have just been out, you know, looking for the next entry point. So So just looking at the chart here, that's not the right date. What's the date? 6th. Yeah, so a total loss of $8.82 at the end of the day. Not a massive loss, so that's not that bad. At least I am mitigating the massive red days that I used to have. The red days have been a lot smaller over the past 3 weeks. So that is a positive to take out of this. I did a review of my last 65 days of trading, and there were some positives that came out of it. Even though my equity curve still isn't going the right direction, it's still plummeting. But I have been reducing my red days and how much I'm losing on a red day. And it's possibly to do also with the share size I'm taking at the moment as well. I've reduced my share size on some of these higher price stocks and stuff like that, so that also would be a factor in it. But that's a positive to take, because that's what I've been trying to work on, is to reduce those, to really reduce those big red days, and also reduce the amount of times I hold and hope. So didn't quite manage that today. Both my trades today were kind of hold and hopes, and not really the strategy that I'm looking to focus on. So if we look at the week, I am down, red week, $49.02. So that's got to change, and I've got to work on not only how I trade, but also how I see myself, and the perception of what I want to be and what I want to get out of trading. I think I'm sort of in this mindset that I'm sort of spiraling down, and I've had a lot of red days, and my accuracy has been really low. So I've really got to get out of that frame of mind where I'm red all the time, or I can't get a green trade. So really got to work on that over the weekend and into next week. Trying to be more positive around trading and around my setups, and really get more positive about what I'm doing. So overall, I entered the day down $8.82. While I stuck to my limits with only 2 trades, I didn't follow the strategy as well as I could have. I'll chalk this up to execution. Something I'll be focusing hard on improving over the next 12 days of this challenge. If you're keen to see the strategy I'm using for this 2-week challenge, drop a comment, and I'll try to make a separate video soon. Otherwise, I'll be back next week to keep it going. Follow along to see how it plays out. I'll see you then. Hei a pōpō.